This build has unlimited range, similar to how the Dawn Song is, but it is a crossbow and also has burst. It's just the most annoying E in the game right now because it interrupts, it has damage, it has 0 cast time, and 15 seconds cooldown. This is the heavy crossbow, one of the most underrated weapon in corrupted dungeons right now. And we're going to take a look at the build that I just created for this weapon. Front and center, of course, is your heavy crossbow. So most of the time, these are the skills that you are going to use. You're going to use auto fire, thunder shot, your sweeping bolt, and your well-prepared passive. Your auto fire deals 85 physical damage for every 0.3 seconds, while channeling for 1.5 seconds, and it deals an additional 231 magical damage at the end of it. So this is how it looks like. It is an auto-targeted skill. So if you have someone targeted, press Q, and it just deals a lot of damage. Super low cooldown as well at 5 seconds. Again, auto-targeted on that one. That's basically what you want to do most of the time. And you also want to use your Thunder Shot. Thunder Shot deals damage, and it decreases the resistance of your opponent by 8% for every 10% health the targeted enemy has. And it stacks up to 10 times. Lasts for 4 seconds. So basically, this is the first skill that you always want to use. Your Thunder Shot decreases their damage resistance up to 80. It has a bit of a cast time, right? Deals damage like that. It's a bit of a cast time of 1 second. Cooldown of 7 seconds, which makes this just ridiculous. So W first, usually, and then you go E and your Q. Usually you have your double Q by then. Your E ability is your sweeping bolt. It has physical damage, 541 damage. It interrupts, so it's really good against interrupting the one-hand fire E. It also interrupts cultist robes or anything that has a channel time or a cast time. You can just interrupt that as soon as you want to because it has 0 cast time. It looks like this. Just like that. It's a straight line, deals damage to all that it passes through, 0 cast time, and basically instantaneous damage up to 22 meters of range. So even if you're super, super far, you see them using cultist robe trying to run away, boop, instantaneous, right there. It just deals damage and interrupts. The passive that you want here is the well-prepared, which is after every 4 spellcast, you reset your cooldown on your first slot ability. So these are your first slot abilities. So as you saw there earlier, if you press any skill, it counts down. E, 3. On the 4th one that you use, 4th, it cools down your first skill right away. So you basically have double Q. Remember how your auto fire deals so much damage? You basically have double Qs if you time it perfectly. Now, there are times where you will want to use the explosive bolt. And if you do use your explosive bolt, you have to switch your caltrops. Your explosive bolt deals damage in a radius, 30 meter range, and cooldown of 2 seconds. So this is actually really good for brawling. So you use your Q, explodes in an area, right? 2 seconds cooldown, actually deals a lot of damage. And you can use this along with the caltrops, which increases your speed if you hit it by 30% for 3 seconds, slowing your enemy as well, and deals very insignificant damage. Your Q ability basically is your main damage dealer here, and your W ability is just used to increase your number of skills used to trigger your passive. That's basically the use of this one. And also use it obviously for trying to chase your opponents, trying to run away from your opponents. This is basically your mobility. But its main function when you're brawling is just to be able to have quick skills so you can use your double Q. That's essentially it. That's the use of this skill, for you to be able to use your Q faster. These are the skills that most of the time you want to use because it's just easier to use. Everything's auto-targeted and deals more damage without the extra effort of aiming things. Let's look at your helmet. We are still sticking with the meta Hunter Hood with the Retaliate, increases your damage resistance for 3 seconds and reflects incoming damage, 85% of it as magical damage. You also want to use your Balanced Mind passive for this one for extra damage and defenses. For your jacket, you actually want to use the Mercenary Jacket. The Mercenary Jacket pairs really well with your Q1 ability. If you try to R, boom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 basically. You just use your R and you use your Q ability, and then boom, your health is basically back to full. If you are going to use the Bloodlust, every direct damage that you deal, you increase your health by 93 for the next 6 seconds, and only applies up to 7 times. But if you are actually going to use your Q2 and Caltrops, I usually go with the Inferno Shield. But honestly, you can also still use your Bloodlust even with your skills being like this rather than this. But so it's very versatile. And you also use your Inferno Shield against maybe like a Fire Staff because they're easy to reflect. But Dawn's really good to counter that as well. But most of the time, you are going to use the Bloodlust for the lifesteal. For your cape, you can honestly use Caerleon Cape for the double Q. But I prefer the Shield of Protection and the Martlock Cape because of how powerful this sweeping bolt is when you are kiting. When you are kiting rather than brawling, this is just insane. You can start the battle with your opponent with just 70% and you have full health on your character. So use the Martlock Cape. It activates when your health drops below 25%, increases your defenses versus everything for 50% for 5 seconds. Now, this is also one of the things that I have been experimenting on, the hover ability. The hover ability on this boots. The hover, if you don't know, increases your speed by 60% for 3 seconds, immunes you to roots and slows. And if you look over here, it cools down while you're channeling, meaning without food, without cooldown food, you can use this every 7 seconds. And again, it immunes you to roots and slow. Really good for when, say, you W, Q, boom, Q, and they're trying to be aggressive, you can just go kite. And it's also perfect, actually, for chasing because you don't really have a lot of mobility on your heavy crossbow. Being able to boost 60% for 3 seconds every 7 seconds, and with your E ability with unlimited range at 22, you can easily chase them and prevent them from actually regenning or maybe cheesing you by eating regen food. So that's actually really good. I recommend you use this. And for extra damage, you also want to use Aggression passive. For the food, keeping with the damages for this build, you also want to use the Beefs too. It increases your damage dealt by 15% on an 8.1, and I do recommend using an 8.1, but if you can't afford it, tier 8 is more than enough. You also want to use the healing potions in this one because most of the time you want to just kite forever. Kite while you have your Q, right? If they want to brawl, you have your W ability, Sunder, and basically your double Qs at this point. But if they want to run away, you can just chase with your boots. And because you have unlimited range on your E ability, you can just hit them, tag them while they're trying to run away, and repeat the cycle. Chase them with your boots because your E ability has 15 seconds cooldown. They cannot really get out of combat unless they have like full mobility, and just E them to death. So that's basically it for this entire build. This is such an underrated meta in Stalker Corrupted Dungeons. It deals so much damage. And if you don't respect the power of the heavy crossbow, you're just going to die really quickly. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Or better yet, join us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Burnstone. Hey. GG. Good fight. He trapped himself though. I didn't use my E. Why? I don't know. Sniper. Yes, sir. Why is he not using his E? GG. La la la, baby. GG, sir. How can I move on when I'm still in love with you? Cause if one day you wake up and find that you're missing me, and your heart starts to wonder where on this earth I can be. Yeah. Yeah. I could have used my defensives there. It's actually doing pretty well. GG. We're trying out a new build today. This is gonna be trouble. I'm actually in trouble. Let's go! Sniped him, boys. 700k. It was interrupted too. That's right. It has interrupt. Range is nuts, boys. No way that hit. Yo, no way that hit. I'm so squishy still though. Sniper. It's not even fair. This build is not even fair, dude. I have unlimited range. Yo, this should be illegal. What is happening? That ain't even fair, dog. Or you may actually want to. I don't know. Ah! I missed! I missed! How could I miss that? The sniper! Wajoom!